This is Danish-InfoNews TV, a Danish-English foreign policy briefing. Welcome to Danish-InfoNews TV. On this special briefing, we'll be looking at Venezuela crisis and Denmark-Greenland reactions. Greetings according to your time zone. To returning and new subscribers, thank you for watching. This is a special foreign policy briefing on the unfolding crisis in Venezuela, its global repercussions, and the reactions in Denmark and Greenland. Just hours after US President Donald Trump announced that the Venezuelan president, Nicolas Maduro, had been captured and flown out of the country, criticism of the United States poured in from across Latin America and beyond. From US military operations and the capture of President Nicolas Maduro to reactions in Copenhagen and Nuuk, we break down the facts, the analysis, and what it means for international relations. Stay tuned as we explore the implications for global security, oil resources, and strategic interests in the Arctic. Part 1. Denmark and Greenland react. Amid the Venezuela crisis, Katie Miller, wife of influential Trump advisor Stephen Miller, posted an image on X showing Greenland wrapped in the US flag with caption, "Soon." The post has received over 2 million views. DR's US correspondent Kim Bilsøe Larsen explained. Miller has long-standing connection to the Trump administration. Her husband is one of Trump's closest advisors. While the post reflects the thinking of that group that Greenland is strategically important, it does not mean Greenland is at immediate risk. Greenland's head of government, Jens Frederik Nielsen, responded on Facebook. The image is disrespectful but does not change anything. Our country is not for sale, and our future is not decided by posts on social media. Denmark's ambassador to the United States, Jesper Møller Sørensen, emphasized alliance and security. Greenland is part of NATO. Denmark and the United States work together to ensure Arctic security. Full respect for Denmark's territorial integrity is expected. Social media in Greenland has been active, with some joking fears that Greenland could be next after Venezuela. Digital editor Kasalu Christensen noted, "We have a well-functioning democratic system, unlike Venezuela, so comparisons are difficult." But the post reflects genuine attention to US foreign policy among Greenlanders. Part 2. International reactions. Latin America and Europe responded swiftly to the US operation in Venezuela. Let's look at Latin American leaders' reaction. Colombia's President Gustavo Petro warned against the US attack, emphasizing the priority of peace, respect for international law, and protection of human life. Cuba's President Miguel Díaz-Canel condemned the action as state terrorism against the Venezuela people and our America, calling the operation a brutal attack on Cuba's peace zone. Let's look at European reactions. Italy and Germany are monitoring the situation. Spain called for de-escalation and respect for international law. France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot described the attack as a breach of the principle against the use of force under international law. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen wrote on X that the EU stands with the Venezuelan population and supports a peaceful, democratic transition respecting international law. Denmark. Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen emphasized diplomacy and the importance of international rules. This is a dramatic development in Venezuela. We must get back on track toward de-escalation and dialogue. Respect for international rules must be upheld. I expect the UN Security Council to meet quickly to discuss the situation. On reactions from allies of Venezuela, Russia and Iran sharply condemned the US operation, calling it a violation of Venezuela's sovereignty and an aggression against regional and international peace. Iran urged immediate condemnation by the UN and all responsible states, while Russia stressed Venezuela's right to self-determination without external military interference. Part 3. The US military operation. Overnight operation, absolute resolve, led to Maduro's capture. U.S. Special Forces, supported by CIA, intelligence, and over 150 aircraft, executed the mission with precision. Maduro and his wife were taken first to the USS Iwo Jima and then to New York, where Maduro faces charges, including drug trafficking. General Dan Kane described meticulous planning. We tracked his movements, routines, and even his pets. Every step had to be precise. The element of surprise was essential. Reports indicate at least 40 casualties, including civilians and soldiers, though numbers remain unverified. Trump described the operation as bold and successful and confirmed plans for the U.S. to temporarily govern Venezuela, oversee oil production, and restore infrastructure. Part 4. Political implications in Venezuela. Following Maduro's capture, leadership remains uncertain. Delcy Rodriguez is acting president but continues to support Maduro. Trump suggested she may cooperate with U.S. plans, though her loyalty to Maduro raises questions. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, a Nobel Prize winner, has been barred from running in 2024 elections. Trump expressed doubt over her support in Venezuela, while Machado recognized Edmundo González Urrutia as legitimate. The military remains crucial, as Maduro historically relied on army loyalty to maintain control. Analysts warn that the army stance could determine Venezuela's immediate political future. Part 5. U.S. motives and oil interests. Venezuela has the world's largest oil reserves, historically exploited by U.S. companies before nationalization. Trump frames U.S. intervention as stabilizing oil production and compensation for past losses. If we just left the country, it would have zero chance of ever coming back. We will manage it properly and professionally and bring in the best oil companies to invest billions, Trump said. Critics warn the operation is effectively a U.S. occupation with uncertain prospects for stability and peaceful transition. Part 6. Domestic reactions in Denmark. In Copenhagen, demonstrators gathered outside the U.S. Embassy and at a City Hall square, showing support for Venezuela's opposition. Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen emphasized adherence to international law and the importance of diplomacy. Conclusion. The U.S. operation in Venezuela is a bold military success but a complex political gamble. International reactions vary widely, from condemnation by Latin American allies and Russia-Iran to measured European calls for de-escalation. Meanwhile, Denmark and Greenland stress respect for international law, alliance solidarity, and democratic governance, contrasting sharply with the U.S. approach in Caracas. Globally, the events raised pressing questions about sovereignty, strategic resources, and the limits of military intervention. That concludes the Foreign Policy Special Edition. The world is watching closely, and the implications of these events will continue to unfold. For in-depth analysis, expert commentary, and updates from around the globe, make sure to subscribe to Danish-InfoNews TV. Don't miss the next coverage. You'll get the insights that keep you informed, ahead of the headlines, and ready to understand the forces shaping our world. Subscribe now and stay connected. Thank you for watching.